Here's the one headline from the New York Times. They put out this picture of this Palestinian woman who was freed. And she's hugging somebody receiving her. And the headline is, a disfigured woman whose case has become well known is among the Palestinians released. In response to which, this guy on Twitter, Adam James, tweets out, this disfigured woman is a car bomber who, having blown herself up in an attempt to kill Israelis, demanded that Israelis pay for her plastic surgeries. And yet the Times calls her a disfigured woman whose case has become well known is among the Palestinians released. The moral equivalency between 3-year-olds snatched by butchers, that's how our friend Batya Ungar-Sargon put it, and people like this poor, disfigured, alleged suicide bomber is absolutely stomach-turning.
You know, when we talk about all this, you want to say, why is this? Why the asymmetry? Why this different standards? Why the suspension of any morality when we discuss these issues? And then, you know, if we were having this conversation in the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, and we did, we could say, well, there's 500 million Arab Muslims in the Middle East, and there's only 10 million Jews, and people are amoral, and they're just going with the numbers. Or maybe we could have said at that time, there's oil, 40% of the world's reserves are in the Middle East. We got to be careful. But this is different now. It's almost, and I'll be very blunt. The BBC is broadcasting from London, where there is a huge number of people who came from the Middle East who lived there as resident aliens, first generation immigrant students. And there's also this DEI idea that in the Western world, but specifically in the United States, that you can be racist or you can equate Jews with so-called white settlers or white privilege or white rage or white supremacy. And there's no downside because you yourself have been declared a victimized, marginalized person. And then people from the Middle East in the hundreds of thousands have fled tyranny and autocracy and violence and poverty, and they come over to the West, and they, by voting with their feet from a very different paradigm that gives them prosperity and security and freedom. And what do they do with that? They immediately romanticize the very types of government and social life and culture that they themselves rejected. And that's what's new about all of this, is that fusion between DEI elites and so-called marginalized people and people from the Middle East in the West. And they are a very vocal, they're still a minority, but they have got a special resonance in the media, in academia, even in the corporate boardroom. It's amazing. And that's what makes this different from these conversations we had in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, where people would listen to Israel and they would at least be open to understanding the unique challenges they face living over there. But now it's incoherent. It's just crazy. And I think that's because we have so many people who are demonstrating and protesting in universities here, and they feel they're exempt from criticism. And you can really see, Megyn, that the demonstrations in the West mirror image the methodologies in Palestine, because one side who demonstrates wears masks, and they fight with the police, and they deface property, and they occupy public spaces, and they suspend traffic, and they scream genocidal chants from the river to the sea, and they harass passerbys, and the other side doesn't. And yet when you mention that, people think you're crazy. But that's I think that's what's the common denominator to all of these asymmetrical stories that we're hearing.
You're so right. My gosh, you're so right about everything you just said. You've got one more from Reuters, which is worth reading, the headline. They posted on X, Hamas releases 13 more Israeli soldiers and 4 foreign nationals to the Red Cross in a second exchange. 13 more Israeli soldiers. What are they? They're talking about. Who did they release? I just read you the ages: 85-year-olds, 2-year-olds, women. They are not releasing Israeli soldiers. And of course, then they got pummeled, including from the American Jewish Committee, tweeting, "Do better. These are innocent civilians who were kidnapped from their homes. Did you notice some of them were dressed in their pajamas? It's because they were in their beds when they were dragged to Gaza," tweets out Dr. Alexandria Alexandra Herzog of the American Jewish Committee. Later, they were forced to delete the post. But this is no accident. This really is just, it's no accident that the press has aligned itself. And as you point out, this weird coalition of, the pro-Palestinian crew, the elite university crew, and then just the people who have signed on to wokeification and race essentialism. It's the Christmas and holiday season, everyone. Time for gift giving, parties with friends and family, and getting compliments everywhere you go. Looking years younger, thanks to Genucel. From now through Christmas, Genucel's most popular package is more than 70% off at Genucel.com. Treat yourself and a loved one to the absolute best skincare in the world. See those troubling forehead wrinkles, fine lines, skin redness, pesky bags and puffiness, and even a sagging jawline disappear with Genucel's most popular collection. And with its immediate effects product, see results in less than 12 hours, guaranteed, or you get your money back. Plus, included in every most popular package is a free hyaluronic acid serum for skin hydration that will restore your youthful appearance. Go to Genucel.com/MK60 now. Enter my special promo code MK60 for an additional 10% off your entire order. Every order today instantly upgraded to free express shipping. Genucel.com/MK60. That's GENUCEL.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.